Hey guys, this is Bridgette Stilley, and welcome to B Unfiltered. Today, I'm super excited to be sitting with one of my dearest, closest, old school friends, Scott Earick, the owner of the amazing Scott's on Fifth. Hi,
Holla,
Scott.
hey.
What's
I
up?
don't know. I never thought we'd be sitting like this.
I'm telling you right
You know,
now.
I grew up in this stuff, so.
I know. I'm excited. One of the first people I thought of when I was like brainstorming my list of people in the community, people I know, people that have made an impact or that I think would just be fun to talk to. You were definitely on the top. So,
Well, you know, I like this stuff. I've been around cameras and media since I was 7 years old. So, you know, TV shows. I was born in Hollywood, as you know, and
Yes.
also lived in Simi Valley at one time.
which is where I'm from.
Yeah,
Simi.
Corganville.
Yep. Wait, Corganville.
Don't you remember that's where they used to film all the westerns?
Oh, out where like Little House on the Prairie
yeah,
sets.
all
I
that
used to
stuff.
go
Well, they
there when
filmed.
I
My
was a-
dad was on Gunsmoke, so they
Okay.
filmed. He was the stuntman there. So
Yeah,
we were always in.
My sister still lives in Simi Valley.
I know.
I've been gone 30 years. Isn't that wild?
That'd be sad if it didn't change. Actually, all the Hollywood people that now live out in the valley.
Oh, everybody's in the Valley.
Well,
You
they
know, the
did a
Valley's-
show. What did they got a show on Bravo called The Valley?
The Valley. Yeah.
So
Which
remember
is
when
funny
it was
to watch.
the hill before you go over the pass?
Yep.
When it was just 2-lane pass?
Oh, yeah. You had to
Yeah,
go through
that-
Santa Susana.
Yeah.
You know that San Fernando, they say, is the porn capital of the world when I grew up.
Let's go. I'm all about that.
So let's go back almost, 2010?
I started the restaurant in 2006.
2006.
And this year, February will be 20 years.
Oh, my gosh. Time.
So I met you
2010.
and your wild man.
Which one?
About the only one.
EJ.
In 2010, yeah, Bill and
Well,
I had
met
the
him in
restaurant,
2010. So
and you caused quite havoc in Scott's on Fifth over the years. Gee, there's so many stories I just can't even tell you.
Well, so we went there on a date because he's super into food, good food. So, and I was trying to think of how I got to know your restaurant. But anyhow,
You liked mussels.
we liked mussels. So well, I like anything really, I like food. And your food. So we came in and I walked in and I went, this is my kind of people.
This is my house.
This is my house. It's like pink and fabulous. And I remember meeting you and I'm like, oh yeah, he's my people.
You know, people look at the restaurant. I mean, it's glam. I mean, it's like
glam.
70s porn star glam,
Yeah,
you
I
know?
like
And
it.
I don't mean it like that, but it's just glam, and I've kept it up that way. So when you walk in there, and if you've never been there before, you're like, wow, this is here in, you know, Indialantic,
in
Melbourne,
Indialantic.
Indialantic.
And when you
And-
walk in from like the either the front door or the back door, you don't expect to just be wow.
It's like, you know, it's a strip mall. I mean, it's not, the landlords now have cleaned it up, but it's, you walk through that door and it's bam.
Mm-hmm.
And then the food, the music,
well, the one thing that I was always impressed with, well, first of all, I could get dressed up, and,
Mm-hmm.
and EJ and I really like to do that. And the white tablecloth, it just, I felt like I was in like a whole nother world, you know, back in California or in a city.
Right, and
but
you-
also quaint enough because you come out, you greet
well, you
us.
didn't know me at first because back in the day, I never really came out of the kitchen.
You did for us.
I did feel, well, you have a table that's right there.
Yeah, that was our.
And,
usually, probably the table that people don't want because it's right at the kitchen.
Yeah, but that's where my friends sit.
Yeah,
And I can pop out of the kitchen and give you this, give you this.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have a chef's kitchen, but I got a chef's table.
Yeah, no, it was amazing, and I was so impressed that not only have you created this amazing restaurant, the food is top notch, and you cook it and you cut it up, you know, make sure that, you know, your steak is cooked right.
Yeah.
So we loved it. I mean, I don't even know how many times I've been to your restaurant.
Oh my God! Over the years, I have pictures in the kitchen every year.
I mean, I would say 1,000, but I mean, maybe that's a
Yeah.
lot. But literally every
And I
Friday?
have a server at the restaurant now. She's been with me for a while, like 6-7 years, and her name's Kaylee. And she said one time that really sums it up at Scott's on Fifth. Everyone is someone at Scott's, and that's the way we treat
Yeah.
you.
definitely, you know what, that is, you need to have that.
Yeah,
need
no,
to put that,
yeah.
like,
She
on
she said that, and I said I'm going to steal that from you.
It's true.
I mean, just over the years, you know, I come from a showbiz background, which is entertainment, and hospitality basically is entertainment. So I treat the guests the way I would want to be treated at home, and I feed them the way I would cook the food at
you
home.
are treating your people at home like that.
Yeah.
You come to my house.
Yeah. Well, you knew Bill. Bill was in the front of the
Yes.
house, and that's how this whole situation started because I said I wanted to talk about it.
Yes. So let's kind of
let's
scoot
just
back.
go there.
Well, our well, tell me.
Let's just go there. I had a partner for a very long period of time, and
How many long?
it was 31 years, and we met when we were very young, and it's fun when you're dating. You know, he was a big attorney. I was young, traveling Italy back and forth and doing all these things.
Yes.
And it's fun when you're young because he's in his 40s, you're in your 20s, and you're playing and you're just gallivanting the globe and doing that kind of thing. And then all of a sudden life happens and you start getting older and you don't have that same relationship. Even we were in the restaurant together, but you become kind of like a caregiver as they grow. And one night we were open then on Tuesdays. One night he wasn't feeling good. And I said, let's just close the restaurant. I'm going to go home. I'm going to shut it down and I'll make dinner at home. And we put a note on the door and I made dinner. I went in to do the dishes and I go to see if he's doing all right. And he had walked back to the bedroom and I walked back there and I looking straight at him just as much as I'm staring right at you, even closer. His eyes went sideways and died right on top of me. He had this massive, massive stroke. Fast forward, all the 911 kicking in the door, the whole shock of all that. And you were kind of in the same boat. You were having dinner. What I understand is at a table, and EJ started choking. So you have immediate loss. A lot of people aren't. This is what when we were talking early before we started filming. This isn't like you're getting divorced and you have animosity, or I don't like this person anymore. I've fallen out of love with you. You just have immediate drop. I know, we can laugh about things now. Drop dead loss.
But you and I can laugh about it. Now, someone else would say that it would be, but yeah, absolutely.
Well, yeah. So this is like changing. It's life changing. And as I was driving over here to do this with you, everybody's got stories. You have a story here. You have a story traveling there. You have a story. Everybody's got a story. This story that happened to you and me, this story doesn't change. No. There's just an ending. And, you have to figure it out. And over the years, I just stayed. I didn't open the restaurant for a while. I was actually going to move to San Francisco and be a porn star. And you can ask people because I said, you know what? I'm still young. I got it. I can do it.
We were very much a part of the restaurant too during
Very
that
much.
time. And EJ and Bill had the love of Florida State. And we would go in on that little ass TV because it would be we couldn't go anywhere if there was a game, if a game was on. So we could go to Scottsdale and him and Bill would look at that little.
I think that's one of the reasons we got the TV.
Yeah. Or he would have it on his phone and we would sit there and him and so yeah, we became all very close. And, Bill was a big loss.
And because I didn't know what to do after he left. And then I didn't want a celebration of life because that was too sad for me. And Bill and I always said, when we go, I want a party. And you know what? I gave Bill a party. And everyone had to wear pink and purple and plaid.
Yep.
And I had a Lou's Blues because we used to like to go there for lunch.
Yep.
And Lou and Nancy at the time owned it. My friend Mike now owns it. And you did... I love you for this. You did everything. You got all the pictures. You set it all up. You organized everything. I didn't have to do anything but just show up, which was like the goodbye. Look, I get a little emotional talking about it.
Yeah, it was, when I think back on it, like I didn't even think twice. I thought, And
everyone's going, I can't even imagine, and I had to do it publicly. So I didn't really care. I just, emotions come out whenever, but some people can just retreat to their house. Here I had this business, and it was a very nice business.
And everybody has questions and wants
they
to know.
Didn't know that it was horrible. It was just horrible. Yeah. And
we threw an amazing party.
Well, do you remember
I kind of don't remember. I think
the sheriff shut down A1A because there were so many people both ways.
I mean, I might have been overserved.
Yeah, everybody was.
I don't think I ate. There was just so much going on. I wanted you to not think, and I think it was
It was
it was
touching, and I'll never forget how many people came out to share the love.
no.
And then let's fast forward now. I just stayed in my little cocoon. I kind of went back to work. I think maybe after a month. I didn't want to do it, but some customers got a hold of me and said, get your ass back to work. We miss you, and you cook, and we miss your food and all.
Yeah.
So that's how it kind of started. And then I was just in this gray area, and I just come home, go to bed. I mean, I had to. At the time, I didn't want to go in the house because every time you go home, there's nobody there. And then we had like 7 dachshunds. It was just a zoo. It was a zoo. And one morning, I woke up about 4 o'clock in the morning after a while. And I said, I am so sick of living in this gray area. What am I going to do? I'm young still. I still want a life. And the internet was all new to this dating thing. And I was like, how am I going to go out there and meet somebody? I mean, I'm not to be egotistic or anything, but I'm Scott from Scott's on Fifth, and I don't really want to
meet somebody here. You probably
that
know
knows
everybody
the
here.
restaurant.
Yeah.
So I did all that tricky, shady,
incognito.
the incognito stuff. And sometimes the police were involved. And my friend Marilyn, we call her Mama Bear. And I had to tell her. She took care of Bill when he was really sick and the time. So
I remember her.
I've adopted her, and she's adopted me, and now she's adopted Hank, and she's Mama Bear, and we take care of her, and she takes care of us. But I had to tell her what was going on, and she's sitting with me, and the detectives were coming to the door because they wanted to talk to me about something, and it was just a bad situation. Let's not get into it. It's like the stuff you hear on dating sites. And
So we could talk about that off camera because
Yeah.
I'm like, I need to know more.
So that was really bad. And then I was like, my God, after 31 years, what am I going to do? I don't even know how to meet anybody. And then someone told me, you got to go on a dating site where you pay. You pay like $50 to join it because you're going to weed out the riffraff and the
free
psychos.
trial.
Yeah. And so I did it. I was skeptical, but I did it. And the first person that popped up on my phone, I was like, ooh. And here I think I'm doing something bad because, Bill is still in my mind, still in my heart.
You're not maybe honoring them, or there's just so many different things.
Well, that's what I wanted to tell you. Well, let me go to here, and then I want to tell you about that. The very first picture that popped up on that site was Hank.
The first person.
The very first one on that site.
Wild.
And I took that phone to the restaurant one day, and because I was back working then, and I showed somebody that was working there. I said, I'm going to marry this man. I did. I married him. I did.
9 years late. 9
years. 9 years coming up in February. This month. This month is his birthday. 9 years. He got married on his birthday. He said when we met, he goes, my dad died on my birthday, and I said later on after we met, and I had to fly to St. Bart's to meet him on a blind date.
Oh my God.
So that's a whole nother half hour, people.
That's wild.
And I said, I'm going to give you something to say on your birthday instead of that. Do you want to get married? So I said, I go, that's better than saying my dad died on my birthday. I go, I got married on my birthday. So, and it was his birthday and Thanksgiving, and I could keep it all compact, and I would always remember that.
Yes.
my little story. But that's the difference. That's the difference. Like with you, what happened with EJ. You didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. They died. We're all going to die at some time.
Yeah.
But it just unexpectedly, it happened in my life, and it happened, that way. So you feel guilty about moving on. But I always tell everybody, even some well-known people around town that have gone through this loss, I said, I'm the first one to tell you, you didn't do anything wrong. It's like, it's not a divorce, because a divorce, they could still be living here and have to share the kids, and you can't stand the sight of them, but you still have to live with them. When someone moves on in life and passes, you didn't do anything wrong. So I say, go for it. You're still a good-looking woman, and you have a life ahead of you, and you just have to figure it out. And, I figured it out. I mean, this was all the way back how bad it was that Bill was the signer on all the bank accounts at the restaurant, and the bank kept all the money. I had no money. I was like,
Jeez.
I mean, there's
that.
it was. I remember that. You remember?
Yes.
It was just terrible.
No, it's people don't understand that not only are you dealing with the loss and the immediate loss, like you just they're just gone.
Immediate. It was immediate.
There's all the things that go afterwards. Like his car I had to sell. I had to do this. I had to get the house all. There's still things that I deal with.
The car dealer kept calling up and saying I had to make the payments, and I said the car isn't in my name. So Marilyn, we drove over to the Mercedes dealership, and I said, "Where's the manager?" I'm Scott from Scott's on Fifth. Bill died. This is his car. And I threw the keys down. Leave me alone. It's not my car, so stop calling me. So I think you have to deal with stuff like that. That's real life.
Something that you touched on about, you said we didn't do anything. So and for me, it was about being ready. I wasn't ready. Like that first year, I didn't start thinking about dating. Maybe the first year I thought about it, like a year went by. And then someone wanted to take me out, and I was like, when I was said no, I knew I wasn't ready. So I just kind of went back to my life, which is a good life.
Right.
Moving on, having, helping the kids because the kids were more important.
You had something to preoccupy your mind.
And the kids, mental health and their well-being was a little bit more important than mine. I mean, I knew I was going to be okay. I've had loss, but when you're 9 and 11, you don't know what the hell. So after a year, and then after a year and a half, and then after 2 years, I thought, okay, Stella wants to get her groove on.
Do you remember I saw you in the grocery store one day, and it's like the first time we really had seen each other, because when I text you, when I heard this happen, you text me back, I can't talk to you right now. Do you remember that?
No. I probably
because it was just like I had been there, and you knew I knew what it was like. And when I saw you in the grocery store just a while back lately, I did say to you, I go, "Are you dating anyone yet?" I go, "You will." And but it's I moved on, and I met Hank. He's a dressage horse trainer up in Maryland, very well known, and we did he was in St. Bart's, and I was like, I have no money. I have enough on a credit card to come and see you.
I remember you going. I remember. I thought,
I told everybody.
Crazy?
And I said, oh my God, if I don't come back, this could be a psycho. I don't know. And I go, at least I'm going to St. Bart's.
We still died at St. Bart's.
I go to see St. Bart's.
It was when I came back to the restaurant, it was different. When I met Hank, I was like,
I had a spark again.
You had a spark again. It was different for us. It still was like Scott and Bill.
Yeah.
So I imagine now for my friends and my family, when I have someone, it's just different. And so I have to remember I was in those shoes before where I was like, oh, well, it's not the same.
Well, wait till you have to, like I said, I live a very public life here because of the restaurant, and I'm always on the internet doing something.
You sure
and
are.
then people start judging because those they remember is Bill, and Bill's gone. He's not coming back. And yes, I want a life. And you know what they do say? I've heard people say it before. If you had a miserable marriage and you just hated it and you got out of it, and either divorce or death or whatever happens, you don't remarry, you don't meet with anybody because you're just so miserable. But if you had a happy marriage and something happens, you want that again. And I firmly in my heart believe that, I mean, sure, marriage is difficult. And as partners, it's difficult. I mean, every day it's the kids nowadays, when they get married, if they don't like the way you look in the morning, they go get divorced.
Yeah. It's easier to get divorced.
You're in it. I mean, if you're in it. And so then I had to explain to Hank my life. And I said, when you come here,
and you're a lot. There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. And
you have a lot of friends, and you have a lot of opinions.
And they were concerned about me, and they didn't want me to
you're going too fast. Oh my gosh, you're getting married.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I've gotten to the point in my life, I've been through what I've been through, and I think that has changed my attitude where I just don't give a shit.
Exactly.
I don't care. I care to a certain degree of what you think, but I really don't care.
Well, this was said when we decided that we were going to, I took them to the boardwalk, and I just said, hey, you want to get married? I go, we're in our 50s. I go, let's just cut the bullshit. If you got something to tell me, get it off the thing because I don't want to find out afterwards.
Yeah.
And so it was just cut and dry like that. And I go, we'll figure it out. We're not going to play that 23-year-old dating. I'm not talking to you. You're not answering the phone because he was traveling back and forth. And, and then when I would go up into his world, I mean, they're looking at like me, how did Hank meet this guy? And, he's got this restaurant. He's all over the internet. He made movies, he's a model and all this kind of stuff. But, that was the past. And all that stuff forms you to be who you are. And
I just am so happy for you. I mean, to find the first person to pop up on your phone.
I was like one of the first ones that popped up on his too.
That's wild.
And
I mean, there had to be some sort of something else something that got you together. I think that just doesn't happen.
So everybody, and people ask
so many nightmare stories.
I know everybody always asks, where did you all meet? And I said, well, he says it. It's funny because he's a horse trainer. GiddyUp.com. So people that want to meet people are going to GiddyUp.com. It doesn't even exist.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I don't even know. But anyway, so we did the back and forth thing for this past 9 years, and he just now has come home full time and
official.
And it, he's made a very drastic change in our life. It's a life-changing event because here we are now. When he would leave for 2 weeks, I go, oh my God, I was like, thank God I can shut the lights off and da-da-da-da-da. And,
you just go back to like your own thing.
My own little bachelor moment that I have. And that, like I was saying before we started filming, it's like when he's here like 10 days, because it's like somebody's in my house for 10 days, when are they leaving? Because he would leave. So I always ask, when are you leaving? So we can figure plans out of what we got to do. But this last 3 weeks, He's not leaving. He's not leaving. And then the biggest fun part about the whole thing was the suitcase that he used to carry, this big, huge suitcase he'd carry all his horse stuff in and everything. He threw it out, and that was like, good. So that's how it all happened. And then, just we're figuring life out together and, decisions that I would always make by myself about something. There's another person there. And, and we include Marilyn. I mean, she's a big part of our life. And, I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for her because she just kept me sane and
kept you going.
She kept me going, a beautiful support system. And
sometimes you just need that one person.
She's the one.
You and I are alike in the sense that we know a lot of people. This town, more than I know. I've been here 18 years and there's like a 1 degree of separation. And it's always like, because we talk to people. We're talkers and the restaurant industry. So, but there's just probably a handful of people that are like truly not even maybe a handful that are my people.
Yeah,
there's the people.
My people.
The
my
people.
Tribe.
But then there's the...
Well, it's always true. They say you have, this is how many friends I have on my hand. And then you have acquaintances.
Yeah.
And, my friends are in D.C. Greg, I've known 50 years. I mean, my God. That's a whole nother story.
So can we talk about, I want to talk about your acting and modeling. Because I remember when I first came in, you had like a slideshow, I think, going of stuff maybe. So
everybody had heard about stuff I've done. They've heard it, but they've never heard me really like talk about it.
Okay, so where did you grow up?
I was born in Hollywood, California.
California.
My dad was a stuntman for Gunsmoke. And so we were always...
Your brothers and sisters?
I have a sister. She's 5 years older. And I have a niece and nephew over in Tampa. And I started early on, and Please Don't Eat the Daisies, I think when I was like 7 years old. And it was just, you're from California. That's what parents do. They put their kids on commercials because they're going to make us money. And, And
I wanted to be an actress and model and all the things.
So I did all that stuff and lots of things. I worked on Days of Our Lives, lots of TV commercials.
I remember that now that you say that because I was a huge Days fan for years.
Hank's a soap opera fanatic, so he knows about that. Then I was doing commercials like Orange Kiss Sensation, on the beaches out there in Laguna Beach doing TV commercials. Because everywhere you go out there, there's sets like this everywhere.
Yeah.
And then I started doing some modeling in New York. started working for Giorgio Armani for 7 years. I did a campaign
Did you do like runway or just like a...
No, I
like
didn't do the runway. If you walked into an Armani store, you would see a big picture like that, and that would be like me.
Oh my gosh.
And I'll show you a picture someday.
Do you
I'll show a
do you
picture.
have all the things still?
I have some of them, when
Yeah.
you're doing them. But remember, this is back
Are you
40
talking
years ago.
80s?
80s.
80s.
And I'm going to show you a picture because you've probably never seen it. And
I
I want to
like-
see your reaction on camera.
So Giorgio Armani.
And then I went to...
Wow. Holy moly.
that was me.
You almost look like a surfer. Like
That was me.
you had lots of hair.
I did. I had hair then. I wish it would come back. But that's I've earned that. And then I was doing Italy, and then I was going back and forth to Rome. And then when I was in Rome, I was doing this. They have this place in Rome, outside of Rome, called Cinecittà. It's called Cinema City, and where Fellini used to do all their movies. It's like a big studio like this, but 2 football fields long.
Oh, wow.
And there's all these sets, and that's where they filmed Cleopatra, and they still have all this stuff around there. And my agent, I was with an agency called Top Floor, and go to Cinecittà, you got to be there at 10 o'clock, blah, 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 blah. And so I went. And, I wasn't always on time. It was an Italian time. And so I got home. Well, I went into this room, and they called my name. I went into this room. I sat at a computer because I was going for like an underwear commercial. I was ready to take my clothes off. I was like
Of course you
young,
were.
skinny, and fit. And they said, go into this room and sit at a computer and type and turn around and go see and look in the camera and go see. So I get home, the agents, there's no cell phones back then, and this is Italian life.
So they're
And
like
so
sending a
Ula
carrot-
from Top Floor and this guy, Tom, called me up screaming, "Where are you? You didn't show up. This is like the 3rd time you haven't shown up. You need to come into the agency and we're going to have a talk." So I was like, oh. So I went and had wine, blah, 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 blah. Later that night when I got home, about 10 o'clock, I get this phone call. And it's Ula from Top Floor. Remember, she was screaming at me earlier. She goes, and she's Dutch. She had an accent. And she goes, "Scott, could you please tell me where you were today?" And I said, I went into the room. They put me at this computer screen and turned me to turn around and say, "See." She goes, "Well, I don't know where you went, but they just signed you on for a year on this TV show and they want you." And I was like, so I'm not in trouble anymore? So I was on this show called La Piovra, and it was about the mafia. It's called, in Italian, Piovra is an octopus. It's how the mafia infiltrated the drugs and the crime and the banking and all this kind of stuff. And I played Agent Sims, which was a DEA double agent.
Oh.
And
Fun stuff.
I landed that gig, and it went on for years and years and years. And I got to see the world.
Amazing.
It was a #1 show in 131 countries. And I got to do all this
So we can
traveling.
just go to YouTube or Google.
It's on La Piovra, and you can see it. And I have like the other people were talking about, they've been on the show for years, and they were asking for a raise. So I went to my agent and I asked for a raise. 2 days later, I get my script. I was machine gunned to death.
They killed you off.
They killed me off.
No raise. Here's your raise.
No, here's your raise. You're out. But it was one of the best things that ever happened to me because
Yeah.
I had to stay around for the first year after I was done because you have to do voiceovers, reshoots, if they need to reshoot anything or dream sequences or anything. And you still get a full pay. And then the second year, you get half pay because you just got to stick around in case they want to revive a dream sequence or something. You know how TV works.
So it
And then
actually
what they did was when they had to do promotions for the show, they used to send me on the plane. So I was on this private plane flying around the world
Oh my
doing
gosh.
talk shows just like we're doing, talking about the show.
So tell
but I couldn't tell
me-
them I got murdered.
Why did you get out of all that? And then tell me how did you cook this whole time? Because I really want to know how you go from this to like
Everybody
the most
wants to
amazing
know
chef.
that. I've never been to a cooking school as a student. I'm self-trained in the kitchen.
But where did you start like cooking?
When I was traveling around and I started learning my palate, because I was young when all this was happening, we would go to nice restaurants, and all of a sudden you're the TV people and all these restaurants excited to have you in there. And I would always ask, can I go in the kitchen? I want to say hi to the chef. Or like, that's how this all started. And if I liked a dish I really like, and he knows I'm not going to stick around, I'm leaving in like 24 hours. And I said, what is that? How'd you make that? And they'd write it down for me. And I have the stack of a shoebox of all these recipes of things from around the world. And so that's how that all happened. And when I went back to the States, I just told Bill, I mean, Bill was flying back and forth, and it was like, we had one of those international whirlwind type of romances. And I got back to the States. I didn't want to do TV anymore. It was just too draining. And
needed maybe a little bit of stability or stay put somewhere.
More stay put. I got that thrill, you know, when everybody says they think up, they want to wake up and they go, oh my God, I want to walk the red carpet. People have no idea what goes on in that world. I mean, it's
prep.
It's rough and tumble and cutthroat and mean. And you got to be able to handle people talking about you. And I was just like done. And I like to cook. And so I had a restaurant in Tampa, and we had a restaurant over there, and the chef was always drunk.
You and Bill had a restaurant?
Yeah, over there. And my mom was involved at the time. And it was called Giovanna's, and I had that for a while. And the reason I learned to cook is because the chef was always drunk, and he was always the next morning, he was laying outside the front of the restaurant.
Oh my God.
So I had to learn how to cook, and that's how I learned to cook. And then I just self-taught. And even when we moved here, this restaurant was supposed to be in Providenciales in the Turks and Caicos Islands. And Bill and I were going to
go there
and just live our lives and just be happy ever after.
Yeah.
Well, some things happened down there with the government, and we didn't really like what happened. So we immediately said, let's get out of here. It's not good what happened to those people, you know. And so we hunted Florida restaurants, beach, whatever. There was 6 restaurants that we looked at, and this was the last one. And I'd never been to Melbourne or Indialantic before.
Oh, that's wild.
And we drove down. We were in Tallahassee. We drove down, and I was like, we looked at a couple places, and I walked in here, and I looked at Bill, and I said, it was a dump. It was Cafe Atlantic or Atlantic Cafe. It had seaside. Everything was glued to the walls. It had tarps everywhere. Kitchen stoves, 2 kitchen stoves in the kitchen with the glass. And we had to have the hood put in while we were gone. And I said, yeah, we can do something with this. And that's the birth of Scott's on Fifth.
And who came up with Scott's on Fifth? I
did. He said, what do you want to call it? And I never will put my name on a restaurant again, ever. But, you know, I didn't know the area. And I always figured things out sometimes. You know, you always go like, where is this place? Where is this place? Do you ask your friends, where is this place? Okay, well, I'm Scott, and we're on Fifth. Scott's on Fifth.
Anytime I talk about you, I'm like, you know, Scott from Scott's on Fifth.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
I know
don't
you've
even
heard
have
it.
a last name.
I know you've heard it like a million times, but
people don't even know my last name. There's Madonna, Cher, Scott.
Fabulous.
So,
one of my favorite things about your restaurant is, well, I'll tell you, my favorite place in your restaurant is the bathroom.
Oh, you should see the ladies' room now.
Oh, because I haven't been in a while.
Oh, we did it in January. My friend, the Betsy who did the bathrooms 20 years ago, I asked her, we were going on vacation for a long weekend, and I asked her to come in and redo the bathrooms.
So is it still the same theme?
Hot pink.
Well, it's hot pink, and it was
heavy glitter.
All
Marilyn Monroe everywhere.
Marilyn Monroe. And that when I remember going to the restaurant and thinking it was like just amazing. I loved it. Then I went to the bathroom, and I was in the bathroom for like 10 minutes.
I know, everybody is.
I was just looking at
everybody takes selfies in there, and I go, oh, they were there last night.
It's the best bathroom, yes. And then, so another thing that, and you don't make it, well, you stopped making it, was the coconut mussels.
Oh, you and
the
somebody
Thai
else said, yes, I still make them.
Here
It's
and
just,
there.
it's on a whim.
You would make them for me. But your mussels, so I think I had mussels before, but the mussels and then the garlic mussels with the tomatoes and the bread. We put like a loaf of bread in
it.
You
lots of bread at Scott's.
Oh, yeah, you don't go there. Like you go there in stretchy pants.
When I made the commitment to go back into the restaurant and cook, you know, we had figured out back in the day when we started, well, if we do this many people, we were open lunch and dinner. If we do this many people and we have this many people come in and they pay this, we have enough to pay our rent, a car payment, and everything. And then
wild.
it just went haywire. And I just, a lot of people say, I hate to go to work. I don't want to go. I love my restaurant. I love the people that I work with. I love my customers. I hope people love what I love. And that's how it just, because you can feel in a place, when you walk into a place, you can feel like this negative vibe. Mm-hmm. And I think at Scott's on Fifth, when you walk in there, it's supposed to be your happy place.
Well, and everybody knows you. You feel like you're in your
home. We
throw
a dinner party every night.
Every night. I've been to many. I mean, I have so many memories, parties. We've done 40th birthdays where people have rented it out. I mean, it's just.
I knew your kids.
When they were well, I always tell Bella she's made of muscles because we were there every single, I think it was every Friday.
Yeah.
The entire pregnancy. And so I couldn't. But yeah, no, I ate there the filet with the peppercorn cream sauce. I was such a creature of habit too. So
yeah, and I rotate things, and it's like I like to ask somebody, if it's not busy one night, I'll come out of the kitchen and go, what do you want me to make you? Forget the menu. What do you want me to make you? What's your favorite dish?
So good.
And I just have that. I'm not, like I said, I don't call myself a chef because I've never been to a cooking school or trained or anything like that. I've trained myself. So I'm just me, and I make what I like, and I hope the customers like what I make.
And we do, and I know because I've talked to many, many people. We used to go in the kitchen and take pictures.
Everybody comes in the kitchen.
EJ would walk around with a drink, and he would try to cook with you, and I'm like, oh my God.
EJ would walk around and talk to everybody in the restaurant.
You get a couple booze in him.
Yeah, him and Bill.
Walk around, talk to everybody on the patio, talking to people. I had to reel him in many times.
Hank does that now, which is really nice. It's coming along in full circle of having Hank there with me. And, he started after 9 years. I mean, now that he's here full time, he knew people off and on, but now that he's here full time, he's starting to take that little inchy step to go around and say hi to someone in the restaurant.
You want it to be authentic, organic. If that's not what he wants to do, then
it's turning that way now. And for me, it's having, Marilyn's always there for me, but having someone that I love deeply and my new partner, there's a picture of Bill in the restaurant across from the bar, and it's me and him, and I think we're with the Howie guy from Backstreet Boys, and we're up there, and I think that's the picture. And I say every day, thanks, Bill. He's in that restaurant every day, and we built it together. And there's also a picture of Hank of the morning we got married, and Hank's pouring champagne all over himself. It's a great photo. Everybody says that should be a poster, but I'm doing what I love to do with someone I like to do it with, and
you're happy.
That's the goal.
That's the goal. I feel like that's everybody's goal in life, right? Should just do you the way you want to do you, be happy, and find happiness. Don't feel guilty. I think that's what, I think our conversation, if anybody can get from going through something, whether it be something that we've gone through.
You never think you're going to be okay, but you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
You have loss. They're always here, and they're always here. They're just not here. So, you just cannot stop talking about. So, when I met Hank, the last 31 years, what am I going to tell him? What am I going to talk about? I have stories to tell. And like I said, everybody has a story.
It's finding that person, too, that understands that, because some people are are jealous or insecure, and I don't have time for that.
You have to be
a strong person.
You have to be a strong person to be around as a strong personality,
like you and I. You have to be strong to be a partner with you or a partner.
We have to be
me.
Strong just to get up every day.
Yeah, absolutely. So you better be stronger than me, or just as strong.
So, but it's fun, and I just if I could say anything about anyone with you doing this podcast, and we're all going to go one day. It's just we're getting really selfish that we don't want them to go now, and it's just it's how you live your life. You have to just live your life good. I've never thought I would be here. I thought the first thing that was going to happen with me after Bill's passing, that I was going to leave. I love this. I love
a porn star in San Francisco.
I was going to be a porn star in San Francisco. I love this little town. And I've never lived anywhere longer. Just on my own, and because I'm like, on to the next adventure. And
you had every opportunity.
every opportunity to
you
go.
had a reason to close
I had
up
the biggest
shop.
reason.
But something kept you here because there's something about this little beach.
I don't know what it is, but I'm so glad I'm here. And now, my partner's here, Marilyn's here, the dogs are here.
look
this
great.
is home. This is
Yeah.
home. And I want to click my heels and say there's no place like home.
I love you so much.
I love you too.
There's probably some more stories that you could get
Oh,
into.
we got to do this on a Monday and have champagne.
Some
We're drinking
champagne.
water today.
Boring. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Promise me we can do this again because we got so much stuff to tell.
I promise you we'll do this again because we haven't even talked about your cooking show.
No, COVID and my cookbook, my spices.
All the things.
I got a whole nother
and I'm gonna
Scott 2.0.
Well, I need to come back in and I want to see Hank and bring the kids. I brought the kids have been in the restaurant.
I know, yes.
So
We'll have to just start our new beginning.
our new beginning.
Yeah.
I love that. Well,
Yeah.
I love you and thanks for sitting on the couch with me.